Touchdown, Ravens. Hey, welcome back to the home of original sports perspective from our couch to yours. This is your host, your couch writer, Raven Jermaine Lockett. And we got some new equipment here, so y'all got to bear with me as I figure this stuff out. Our guest of the show, Kamru, will be with us shortly. I appreciate y'all coming through. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and smack that bell so you know when it's going down, folks. Look, Lisa's already in the room. She is ready to go, ready to vent. And I don't blame her because it was a tough it was a bad weekend, folks. I mean, but first, it was also a tough day. So I don't know if y'all heard, but I'm pretty sure you have because it's all over the airwaves. But John Madden has passed. And Madden was, he was huge for us growing up, whether it be on our video game system, but for those of us that are a little bit more seasoned, got a little bit more gray coming out the ears. He was one of the most influential coaches, one of the youngest coaches in football, and then comes out and is, he was basically Tony Romo before Tony Romo was Tony Romo. He was better than that. For 30 years he did it. And he did it. He was so dedicated to it that although he feared heights, this man would ride the bus all around the country. So, let's just take a moment out for John Madden, who's going to live in our hearts forever and on our consoles as well. So just take a couple seconds and think about that. All right, folks. Now back on to business. Like I said, big ups to John Harbaugh. Prayers and peace to his family. This is we see these celebrities out there, but sometimes we forget that they're real people and they have families and they have lost someone special in their lives. Let's move on. Let's move forward, folks. Let's talk about this butt whooping. It was bad. it was terrible. Let's see who's in the room first. All right, Lisa says, I am fed up with losing. We should have won those 4 games. I still love my Ravens, and I fully agree, homie. I fully agree. We should have won a few of those games. This past game, no, I definitely don't think it could have been won with those JV corners. There was some JV full-on corners out there, but you know what? Give it up to Joe because he came out there and he did what he was supposed to do. Because if he had a loss to a bunch of JV corners, he would be catching a lot of heck on Monday. But he came out and he slaughtered them. All of those receivers, or at least 3 of the receivers of the Bengals, all had above 80 yards that game. And I believe we gave up 3 touchdowns to those receivers and got mossed by Higgins. And it was just a nasty, nasty game. But what can you do when you got people coming off the couch playing for the Ravens 1 week later? Let's see. Bless Brian, I appreciate you, man. He says RIP to Madden. John Madden was a coach's coach. Absolutely. This is one of those guys that, he would do whatever it takes to win. They went by the model, just win, baby. And it was mainly because John Madden did what it took to win. And he was just very cerebral with it. He thought about the game in different ways people didn't think about, even when some of it might have been a little borderline when it came to cheating. But I'm just saying, but he got the job done. He was kind of Bill Belichick and Tony Romo combined into one before they got here. All right, here's Wilbert. He's here. And y'all say hi to Wilbert, y'all. He wants to talk about us, but yeah, he don't want to talk about them Packers and what happened to him, honestly. We only lost to the Packers because we got a gambling coach who has a problem and needs an intervention. You lost to the Packers because y'all got y'all butts monkey stomped and Baker threw 4 interceptions. So I'm just saying, we can throw interceptions, 4 interceptions against y'all and actually win the game. But y'all throw 4 interceptions, and I think it was in the first half, or was it 3 in the first half? So don't even talk about them daggone Browns today. We'd rather focus. I'm trying to focus on my team. But you've been waiting to troll us all week, apparently. So that's a problem. All right, so let's see here. We got Lisa. She's like, hey, it's not funny, Wilbur. She about to come across count on you, man. All right. So we ain't even healthy. This guy, it's a nobody shaking my head. Yes, we're not healthy. The Ravens aren't healthy, but we're getting there. We're getting there. We got a couple people back, and I wanted to talk about a few of those things today. But let me just see a couple more of these comments here, and we'll get started. Said Wilbur Gross, this is Ravens channel. Why are you here? Shaking my head, clown. He's here for entertainment purposes. I'll be honest. It's kind of funny having him in here, and we can also team up on him. He's just one guy, so. But he is the king of trash talk, so get ready. It is definitely coming. All right, so let's move forward here. Let's talk about these things. Talk about Kamru will be on the show later, and there'll be something that we'll talk about as we get into it. But we talked about Joe Burrow. We see it. It was bad. This dude had over 525 yards. Didn't want to lay off he didn't put the brakes on at all. I think it's a little different than how we beat him. Whenever we beat him, we usually put in the backup in the third quarter or at the end of the third quarter or fourth quarter, and Lamar takes a rest. Joe Burrow did not lay off the gas, and I think he actually was setting an NFL record by staying on the field. And that's fine. Y'all want to stack up stats. I think Baltimore has done it as well, and that's why Denver was so ticked. But just recognize that there will be no holds bar if we make it to the playoffs and happens to see those Bengals again, and we have a decently halfway healthy roster, COVID-free, and Lamar Jackson running loose, running like he stole something, whatever, we're going to do our thing. Ravens going to be all right. Let's move forward here. It says, hey, I had a prediction. I just keep getting it wrong every daggone week except for last week. Bateman finally gets his touchdown, so I'm excited for the guy. Much love to the guy because, look, it's hard to come out here and try to get the quarterback to see you when you're the X on the backside all the time. But things were different. Things were definitely different this game. You could see some Bateman in the slot. You could see Bateman actually pretending to be the Z and going in motion. I saw a lot of different things to where they were trying to get Bateman involved in the first drive. And then what happened after that, I'm not really sure. I went to go look at a little bit of tape before this started, and what I could see was it was the Mandrew show, and they were trying to establish the ground game and trying to get Hollywood involved, trying to use screen passes to flats. But, I mean, the quarterback did manage to get a lot of different receivers involved, and so, giving Bateman his touchdown and then going quiet, okay, they had to do what they needed to do. So I ain't too mad at it, but they do need to recognize this guy's a true X and let him ball out. Next item here. Actually, this is a question for Kamru, but once he hops in, we'll probably review some of these here to get some of his opinions, some of his experience here. So, has the league made a blueprint for this defense? And I think I'll probably just chime with some of you guys' comments here as well. So, when it came to Mandrews, he was just unstoppable. He was really unstoppable. I mean, this is like his third game with over 100 yards receiving and a touchdown. He is balling. And the quarterbacks, doesn't matter who's at the helm, they see this. They see this as a security blanket. And why not go to this guy when you know that he's going to bring it down? But at the same time, I need them to develop that same amount of confidence when it comes to Hollywood and when it comes to Bateman, because these three can be really dynamic weapons and should be used equally throughout the entire game so they can spread that rock around and make sure that this team is an unstoppable asset. So Lisa says, we need to sack Matt Stafford and keep OBJ quiet. Yes, that is definitely one of the keys to the game, is putting that guy on his back, making sure he can't step up in the pocket because he can't scramble, but he can toss that rock. And I think OBJ is probably the least of our worries at the moment. I mean, he's developing over there, but you already know Cooper Kupp is the one that needs to be taken down. And I'll talk about that a little bit more on our preview show. This is more of a post-game wrap-up, but it's whatever. Let's talk it out. So let's see. Brian says, is Lamar going to be back? We need him. So good news. Good news is that Kenji Bahar, he got dropped off of the Ravens practice squad today, which means they just have too many quarterbacks, which means somebody is coming back healthy. Who that is, we are not really sure if it's going to be Lamar or if it's going to be Tyler Huntley, because I mean, I'm good with either one of those because of the fact they come in and they do both dynamic things. Like I said, when it comes to Huntley's able to toss that rock on the outside, and he's able to find Andrews no problem, but he's able to find Bateman better than Lamar has been finding Bateman. And I think that connection, that chemistry on the outside for Huntley to be able to throw those 50-50 balls and take advantage of what Bateman can do on the outside, I think is a nice thing. But, of course, when Lamar comes back, he's got a better connection with Hollywood, and we can see a little more of that. And hopefully he gets back to form or what he was doing in like weeks 1 through 6, what he was doing with Hollywood, because Hollywood is also close to breaking 1,000 yards with receiving. So that is something that we haven't seen since what I want to say Michael, or is it? No, I say, yeah, out of any rookie Raven or any Ravens player, I mean, they really haven't really run above 1,100 yards receiving. So to see 2 players go above 1,000 yards this year, that would be pretty sweet. Let's see some comments, folks. Let's see what's up. It says, Lisa says, Mandrews is going to the Pro Bowl or going to Hawaii for the Pro Bowl. Absolutely. Yeah, let's see that. But hopefully some magic can happen and we can make some other bowl happen. Meaning, long shot, but hey, anything can happen whenever we get to the playoffs. If we get to the playoffs, because there's a 30% chance now, thanks to the Saints screwing up our chances last night. They couldn't beat Miami, and they ran that same blitz on 3rd down that they ran against the Ravens. They ran it against Ian Book, and they took advantage of it, got a pick 6 out of it. So they definitely took advantage of his youth and his inexperience. And so, of course, Miami slid into that final playoff spot for now, but hopefully they can screw it up next week. Yeah, let's see what Wilbur says. Here we go. Y'all just get ready for it. Brace yourselves. Said Rams gonna light y'all up. Rams gonna score more than the Bengals. Oh, hey, Cam is in the room. Hang on just a second, y'all. We're gonna hold off on this comment just a second. All right. So adding Cam to the screen. What's good, man?
What's up, brother? I apologize. I just got out of class. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you just fine, man. I hear you.
Sorry.
You hear me? You good?
Yeah.
All right. Hopefully the audience can hear y'all as well.
Yeah, I got my dog in here. She's not going. She's just here enjoying this stuff. Don't mind the air mattress. It's the holidays. Had family. This is my second room where the studio is and everything. See, I got a mic over here and all types of craziness. Anyway, man, I'm sorry, brother.
Let's go, man.
Ready to go.
All right, so those of y'all who don't know Kamru, we got to know about you, man, because I sit here and I checked out your Instagram, and you got 13,000 followers. Can I get like 300 of those to go ahead and subscribe to the channel?
You can have them all.
I mean, I only got like 200. I mean, let me get a couple subs up in here. But tell me why they follow you. What do you do?
I'm an actor. Well, Kamru is. Let's just break it all down. When we first met, it was Camwe. That was my kid. The name that I was given when I was a child.
Yeah.
It was given to me by my cousin because of martial arts. I've been taking martial arts since I was 3 years old.
Yeah.
And it means God's soldier and the chosen one. And so when I got into music, it just followed with me. So I kept the name, and then as things kept going with my music and stuff like that, one of my mentors said that I may have to change it because we couldn't trademark the name. So I figured if I put a hyphen in there, it'd be good. But being the fact that even with the hyphen, if he gave me the example he gave me was like, think about like with Biggie Smalls. It had to be changed in Notorious because it was somebody else that had the name. So, they said as soon as the money start coming in, brother, they're gonna come for you. So
yeah, absolutely. I believe it. I mean, you just think that what was it, WWE, the Worldwide, was it the Wildlife Federation? Came for the WWF.
Yeah, so
people ready to sue.
Exactly. So me changing it to taking out the UI and putting RU is pretty much similar. Ru in Chinese means scholar. So I'm always a student of everything that I'm passionate about, from my music, my acting, martial arts, even up here chopping it up with you. You know what I mean? So I'm always thinking like a white belt would be. you always trying to learn. So you always any place. My father always told me, any place you go into, you always go with an empty glass.
I like that. Go everywhere you go as a white belt.
Yeah, that
That's
keeps
cool.
you humble. I mean, only time I'm not really humble is when I gotta really get on the mic and really go ahead and go.
Yeah, you got to slaughter things. You got to come in with full confidence on that.
Yeah, then that's a little different.
So tell us about this movie. Was it 52 Blocks? I think it was called.
Yeah, well, the style is 52 blocks. That's the main style.
Okay.
We just shot the short. It's called the name of the series. It's going to be a series called 52. So we just shot the short for a couple of film festivals. The short will be out soon. I just have a sizzle reel that's on my Instagram, which is I don't know if you see it up here. It's Kamru 52. That's KMRU 52. That's on the gram. And you
take this banner down so they can see that.
Yeah. I mean, you ain't got to do it now, do you?
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So we good. Hey, this is where you can find this guy. I'm telling you, the little clips that I've seen, this is going to be an exciting movie. It kind of reminds me of like some, like a Black Steven Seagal just going through just slaughtering cats, And I was just like, yeah, let's go. I was like pumped up when I'm watching this, man. But anyway, these folks, what they came here for. They came here for the Ravens Flock stuff.
Yes, sir.
Talk it up. It's been some trash talk going on in the room. We do have a villain in the room here with this Wilbur Gross, man. He just come through, he talk it, and we respond. We have some fun.
You're not a wave hopper, brother. Mr. Wilbur is not a wave hopper. Don't run with the Rams if you're not a real Rams fan.
Oh, no. This is a Cleveland Browns, hardcore Cleveland Browns fan, man. Like the king of trash talk when it comes to Cleveland.
That's all right. All right.
He want to try to talk that trash.
It's company type game, brother. He want to sitting on the couch for real, like he gonna sit on the couch.
Yeah, he hurting right now because Aaron and his COVID toe lit him up.
Yeah, dude.
So we before you came in, we were chatting about a couple of things, man. We talked about Madden, and rest in peace, Madden. After 30 years of broadcasting and football, and the staple of our games. His game built friendships, like for real. Like for me, I got a couple of my best friends from playing Madden. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we stuck together for years, and that's kind of what connected us throughout the years. Is because of John Madden and this beautiful game. And then, of course, him and commentating, he was the Tony Romo before Tony Romo. And just seeing all the coolness that he brought to this world, the boldness of being able to add flavor to commentary. I believe it kind of started with him.
This, what this reminds me of right now? Remember the first time we were on, your kids were in the back bothering you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I know it's out of control.
That should be here. Like as soon as the girl, she just felt it in her soul that the mic just went hot, and she came through. And I was like, "Yo, you got a minute to tell me what you got to say before I go live?" And she says, "Daddy, I love you." I was like, "Oh, you gonna make me feel bad?" I was like, "It's cold blooded, man. It's cold blooded."
Yeah. If you played, man, growing up. If you didn't play Madden, man, you didn't love football. Like that was like it. It was like we used to, even before. Like I remember my cousins and I, we would have, how you got the online leads, and then we had an online lead, and then we had a normal lead, like within on the block.
Yeah.
Well, I grew up in Jersey, like everybody on the block was like we would have our own draft. You got to pick each year. You got two teams, right?
Yeah.
Nobody liked the same team. So you get your favorite team.
Oh yeah.
And you get, we have a draft for you to pick another team. So we will always have a lead on top of like playing jokers online, man, and just having fun, bro. If you didn't play Madden, bro, I don't know. He raised us really, honestly.
Yeah, I would say Madden did definitely raise us. Now I actually didn't get into Madden until like the 2K died.
Okay.
Yeah, once 2K5 or whatever for the football version, once that died, that's when I finally I went over, and I did not look back after 2006. I mean, I was hooked and playing and starting leagues and doing all types of crazy. I had my own rule book, man. It was like a PDF that I had designed in InDesign that had clickable links to the rules, and then a whole section for offenses and how many games were penalties and all this other crap.
Bro, you was way ahead of the game. You was ahead of the curve.
Insane. Like, you can go back on my YouTube channel. I used to do a show called the Madden Prime Rebellion. Wow. And so what that was about was actually a quarterly show. So every 4 games, I would sit there and collect stats from all 32 players and do a get your life list and a top 10 list. And it was just that serious to where we did shows on it. I showed highlights of people who did big plays, who had the player of the month, defensive player, offensive player. And it was crazy. I did it with green screen and stuff. But the thing was, I thought that, I don't know, for some reason, I thought that YouTube didn't want to see what I had. And I thought the rest of the league only wanted to see it. Little did I know, YouTube wanted to see all of that.
Exactly.
And if I had to put that out, I probably would have got more hits, than I have right now. Yeah. Because I started this back in 2016, and actually I started Couch Rider Report in 2014.
Right. That's crazy, man.
Let's see what Modingo said. Modingo said I was playing Madden on the Apple IIc when it was text only back in the late 80s. Mo, you telling your age, bro.
Apple IIc. That's crazy. I never heard of that. I never heard of the Apple IIc. I never heard of that.
Apple IIc. I ain't never heard of the Apple IIc.
I see, Les. You got it, OG. You got it. You got it with that.
Mo is the OG. He the original, man.
OG with that one, Mo. You got it.
There with the first man. Let's go. Okay. That's serious, man. I think that was before Timco Bowl. You know what I'm saying?
What was your favorite cover, Madden cover, other than Lamar's cover?
Like I said, Lamar is a legend.
Yeah, that would be me being biased. The last time I played Madden, what year was that? When was Flacco there? 07?
Yeah, I think he came in 08.
That was the last time.
07, we had that terrible year where everything just went wrong and we almost beat the Patriots.
No. He came the following year.
Yeah, he came in 08. Yeah.
Whenever Harbaugh got there, 07, 08. Yeah. He, green screen.
I think he's talking about my green screen. I need to fix that.
Okay. No. Yeah, you see my green screen is all dog. My favorite cover was Vic. But the last time I played in any type of league was like when it was Flacco's rookie year.
Yeah.
I didn't even use Flacco. You know what I used?
Troy Smith?
Yeah. Because I needed a mobile quarterback because I was a big Michael Vick.
Yeah, that's the thing. I used to play, everything that I see right now, Lamar, that's exactly how I used to play it. I used to get Tyrod Taylor and then replace Joe Flacco, and I would take Troy Smith.
Yep.
I mean, any mobile quarterback that I could find. Yep. I think when we got that quarterback from Navy, I tried to put him in a quarterback position.
Reynolds.
Yeah. Reynolds, because he was fast as I'll get out, but he decided to go to wide receiver. I was trying to get him in the quarterback spot.
Yeah.
Because I just could not stand not being able to roll out fast enough to get away from these defensive ends when it came to our franchise league and stuff. So I was always on that. Yeah. Anyway, let's see what the guy got to say, and we'll roll back. Dingo says, the Apple monitor was a green screen. Oh, okay. All right, so let's see. So we were talking about congrats to Joe Burrow because he basically beat JV. He beat our JV pretty bad.
Yeah,
and I think if we had Jimmy and we had Westry out there, you know what I'm saying, with Clark, Stevens, and Young. I'm trying to think, and who else? Who am I missing? Oh, Jefferson. If we had those folks out there, I think it would have been a different story. We wouldn't have got sliced up that bad. They were expected to do a lot more than they were trained for. When it all comes down to it, Harbaugh says, "Hey, it's all about next man up mentality," and those guys have played games before, and we had high expectations. But when it comes down to it, that talent level was not high.
No, he was. You know what? My problem, and we talked about it. We touched on this a little bit last night when we were talking on the phone. My problem is this. I think the arrogance, and it's really because you don't know how to win. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? I'm talking about Cincinnati. Yeah. Don't give me the excuse that you felt some type of way because Wink said something about the Hall of Fame jacket, because that's BS.
Yeah.
Because honestly, he didn't disrespect you at all. Actually, he gave you a compliment before he was talking about Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
And what he's saying is the truth. He said, we're not ready to give Joe Burrow a gold jacket yet. Don't tell me that influenced you. Don't tell me last season. We talking about last season.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like Charlie Murphy with Dave Chappelle playing Rick James. Why you hit me? That was 10 years ago. Like, we talk about last season.
Yep.
Don't talk about last season because Rick said something about the 3 points. Come on, stop. That's not it. Y'all wanted to punch a mud hole in us. And look, when a sleeping giant is asleep, you want to. I mean, if you can beat them down, you're gonna beat them.
Yep.
I mean, if your big brother is hurt, you're trying to take full advantage of it. That's all they're trying to do right now.
And I feel like, it was like basically fighting a girl right now. Like, okay, if they had a beat,
don't say that too much. You right?
Yeah. Some girl be ready to throw down. Don't get me wrong, but it's like if you win against that girl, then everybody gonna clown you in the neighborhood. Yo, you beat that girl,
right?
Like, oh, you ain't nothing. You ain't no good. This, that. But if that girl beats you, you ain't living it down. If Baltimore had walked in there and beat them Bengals, they would have never lived it down. So they did exactly what they had to do. What they had to do there.
If you look, all right. If anybody, everyone that's listening, we had 17 players that made the 53-man roster on the field that day.
That's on defense, right?
No. In general, they said 17 players. 17 players. Most of the roster, we don't have we haven't had a 53-man roster the whole season. Yeah. So basically, they had to fill. They brought up 14. Mm-hmm. So I'm sorry, you're right. Defense. 17 players. 17 players. That was all. Not all of them were starters. Yeah. But 17 players that made the 53-man roster was on. We're not even talking about the offense. Was on defense. So I apologize. You're right. Yeah. We brought up 14 practice squad players just for this particular game.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I think that practice squad needed to be refreshed too.
Sorry to cut you off. In total, we had 33 players that did not play, either on IR or on COVID. Okay. So what are we talking about here? Like, okay, you threw for 500 and some odd yards. Like, I can't even congratulate you on that because you didn't do it against a good team. Yep.
It wasn't good. Like, you had to do this against Kansas City, I mean, sometimes Kansas City opens up the floodgates, but at the same time, it's still a stout defense. They have starters there, and we didn't have starters. We had, Kevin Seymour. We had, Daryl Worley. I'm just like, okay, these guys got speed, but they don't have the technique. They don't have the reaction time.
Don't know the defense.
They didn't know the defensive schemes. And honestly, if you get them guys to just play, man, they're going to get worked over like a full-time job. Mm. And, knowing zone, it takes discipline to know zone and to trust your safety sitting atop of you, all of that. And they just did not have that experience, that time. They said that every single rep that you get in practice and preseason and off season, all of that attributes to the regular season and what you can produce. Right. And if you ain't got that, you ain't there that entire time. And somebody call you and say, "Hey man, I know you sit on the couch right now eating Doritos and stuff, but can you come and cover 2 or 3 of the top receivers in football?" Yeah, I got you, bro. No, you don't. No, you don't.
He's looking for that job. He did.
Yeah. I mean, all right. So let's see here. There's a question here from Mo Dingo. He says, who do you feel were the best mobile QBs pre-1999 and post-2000? I mean, I don't know. I guess Steve Young was one. Cunningham. And then post-2000, I mean, that's easy. That's just knock out the park. That's Michael. And Michael Vick.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Can't say anything else about that. That's about it. Yeah. I'm glad you had it there because I'm scrambling my brain like you since you talk about Madden, now Mo going back to 1999.
Yeah, he bringing it back, man. We going in the time machine now. Let me you weren't ready, but we got the 72 DeLorean here ready.
Not on football, son. I mean, that's how you doing this, Mo. That's how you doing this today.
Yeah. All right, so let's go down to this next one here. So I wanted to focus on this guy. Mm-hmm. Bateman finally gets this touchdown. Like, let's go. I'm so pumped up,
Yeah. And
But what happened the rest of the game to our guy?
I mean, he had how many? I think he had like 4 catches. He had 4 or 5 catches.
Yeah, he had
I know
4
one thing.
catches, and they
Your
was
boy
all
was
on the
going
first
off, bro.
drive.
Your boy was going off.
Yeah.
James was on fire, bro. James Prochet finally got his chance to show off. Like you can't cover him. He's quicker than fast, but you can't hit his route running is phenomenal.
It is elite. I went and looked at his college tape, and this guy like puts people on skates on the regular.
Yes, sir.
Finds pockets and zones.
The dude that was on him, they had to start doubling. That's when the pick came.
Yeah.
In the fourth quarter, because the safety had to drop down because James was killing whoever was on him. I don't know who number 21 is in Cincinnati, but
I mean neither. I was so hot. I didn't want to study any of that daggone tape any further. I was boiling.
Very crossover every time. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah. And every time he was open, I was like, Jesus, we gotta get him in the game. He gotta get him more involved.
He's got to get the rock a little bit more. But the problem is it's so many mouths to feed.
Yeah.
Because we want to get Prochet. We want to get Duvernay the ball. We're gonna get Prochet the ball. We want to get Bateman the ball. Hollywood's probably sitting over there talking about soldiers again on Twitter. No, I mean, and then of course Mandrews is like, "Hey man, I'll eat all this. He's like, these quarterbacks are using me as their security blanket, and I love it. He is killing the game.
You know what I do appreciate about this time that Lamar's not been there?
Yeah,
they're finding out the talent level that they drafted, how good these, especially the receivers. I think we EDCs broke the curse on as far as receivers are concerned, because from Hollywood down, I mean, only one that hasn't had a really, I mean, he's shown it time and time again, like pieces here and there. I'm talking about Miles.
Oh yeah, Boykin. I mean,
he's still.
He got targeted. He got targeted in the end zone on Sunday. So there was an opportunity there. Just of course, our guy was scrambling for his life because the offensive line wasn't doing what they needed to do, and he just had to roll out of the pocket. Yeah. But Boykin is one of those guys who honestly, you see how these other guys are succeeding without Lamar in the game. It's just sometimes when you're on that backside and you're that X, and ultimately they bring you in for blocking, you're not going to get as many opportunities. And like Boykin would probably succeed in a place like Atlanta because what's his name? Matty Ice does not discriminate when it comes to that rock. He's just going to toss it to whoever. Yeah. And it's like, all right, there's the X. Well, he don't care if that's an X or not. That's just an open receiver for him. So he just like, let's just go get it.
Yeah, I mean that comes with time and being a veteran like Matty is. You know what I mean? So I still think that next year, because really this season, regardless going into the playoffs or not, this season is over for Miles. I mean, he may get some work, but I think next year is really going to open up for him. Hopefully, but I really would like to see. I haven't seen it yet. I don't know. Maybe once or twice. I haven't seen it yet. Having all three of them on the field: Watkins, Bateman, and Hollywood. I'm waiting to see it.
I'm kind of scared to see it because like these guys they struggle in was it 11 personnel?
Yeah.
So every time they have in 11 personnel, Lamar is under duress and he just holds the ball too long. They go in 11 personnel again and try to go 5 wide. It could hurt.
Yeah. If you're able to, again, I think they changed. I think they really changed up the offense. Like they're going a lot more quick passes, and that's going to help. That's going to help get the ball out and let your playmakers make some moves.
Yep. They got to convince Lamar, like, hey, this is where you need to follow this example that both Huntley and Johnson have set here with getting the ball out with less than 2 seconds. They see it. It's the first or second read, or they gone. And that's what he need to get back to is that 2019 form of just, hey, it's only 2 progressions and then I'm out. And then hopefully let Mandrews eat, but at the same time, like, hey, that second progression needs to be a serious look.
Yeah,
give me that serious look at Prochet. Give me that serious look at Watkins or Bateman, and make it happen.
Earlier in the year, he did it against Denver. He did it against when he played Indianapolis. He was doing it. I just think that after a while, and again with Josh and Huntley, they haven't been in there as long as he's been in there.
Yeah,
and after a while, all those hits, brother, I think they started taking a toll on him. You know what I mean? I think he was thinking too much, and he should just be reacting and just go.
All right, here's another question. We got how do we contain Matt Stafford? That is what Lisa says.
Wink gonna have to go back to what Wink does because Stafford is not good against the blitz. He has
you gotta be relentless on that blitz. And the thing is what's their tight end done recently for the Rams?
Nothing.
You know, they hadn't done much, on that tight end. Now, granted, like Cooper is killing it from the slot,
right?
So if the Ravens can figure out a way to pretty much have, I guess right now Jimmy on Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, but I don't think he's gonna put him on there. I think they're gonna keep him on the outside with Odell.
Yeah.
And West, everybody they talk about Kupp, but we can't forget about Van Jefferson. Can't forget about Jefferson, bro. I really was hoping that we were going to draft him that season. That year he came out what was it, last year?
Yeah,
second year. Yeah, I really was wishing that we would draft him because he was really one of the three. He was with DK. He was with AJ at Ole Miss before he transferred to Florida.
Yeah.
He was the third one, so he went to Florida to get more looks. And this Joker he's a route runner. He's a version of Bateman. He just didn't get the same type of clout as Bateman. He runs routes and he's fast.
So when I saw him at Florida, I was kind of like, hey, this is a fundamental guy. He gets it done, but it's not flashy. And that's what Stafford likes about him. It's just like this is a sneaky guy under the radar. And but I think if they stick Westry on him, I ain't gonna say it cancels it out, but I think that's a better matchup of our corners when it comes to the matchups. I say put him, full on Westry, put him on Jefferson. I say honestly, I would put Jimmy on Cooper Kupp and have him just travel with him all game, and let Tavon pick up the rest. Like Tavon versus Odell Beckham. It's going to be a little nasty matchup as far as like Odell's going to eat a bit, but I'd rather see that than see Westry on Odell Beckham and in any other matchups. I think it would just be a hot mess. And they probably have to play a great deal of zone blitzes or just having to get the pressure with forward and just dropping these corners back and linebackers back in zone, and hopefully they can step up.
Well, we're going to have to do something because we don't know if we're going to have Tyus Bowser now. He's now on the COVID list. It's like we get two, we lose one.
Yep, lost Bowser. And the thing is, McPhee can't cover like Bowser could cover.
Yeah.
That's a problem. We got that Joe Thomas guy. Looks like he was getting plenty of reps later on in the game.
The inside linebacker, though. I don't know why they had him. I mean,
we got plug and play whoever there on Sunday.
What can you do? Do?
So we got another question here from Modingo. He says, in the next 3 years, do you see more teams placing value on mobile quarterbacks versus drop back quarterbacks?
I think more mobile. I don't, especially the way college is run now. I don't think it's really that many drop back quarterbacks. I don't think there's any drop back quarterbacks in college right now that I can think of offhand. Even regardless of what style of offense they run. I was looking at a few of the games today. Every quarterback if they're not the best athlete on the team, they're close to it. They may not be the fastest, but they can move. Even going into the playoffs, if you look at all four of the teams, the slowest two quarterbacks probably I don't know the kid's name from Georgia. He's not really super mobile. Yeah, but he can move. And then the quarterback at Michigan, another one. Like he's not fast, but he can move. He can move enough. So
I think the year of the statues or the time of the statuesque type quarterbacks or like that, it's slowly going away. You're going to have a really prolific passer that just is able to stand in the pocket and to drop dimes consistently for them to actually veer away from those mobile guys, because having that next element puts an extra player on the field in my mind, or that's what it feels like, is there's another player on the field when you have that mobile type quarterback. Because I think Vic's coach said it to him best, was like, hey, look, if they playing man, guess who they ain't covering? They ain't covering you. And so that adds the extra element, that mobility. Yeah, so get your guys like Kyler, like your Josh Allens. I mean, these guys are full on mobile freaks. If you let them out the back door, they gone. And so I think they will lean a little bit closer towards the mobile quarterbacks. And I think that's what's causing a problem with the draft strength of this class coming up, is because they had to change the way that they evaluated quarterbacks to include the mobile piece in there and less of a look at what's the Wonderlic score is, because now they recognize, okay, it doesn't matter what they score in the Wonderlic. What's the reaction to X, Y, and Z? Can they react in this particular manner? Can they bail out the back door? Are we looking at their ability to get yardage versus dropping dimes on targets, whatever? And then, of course, what's their accuracy in deep ball? They had to add all of that into that equation now versus just, hey, can this person pass a test and drop a dime?
Two things, just to piggyback off of that. I wanted to ask you a question. One, I think Huntley's going to be there next year. I think we're trading him, and I think we're going to get a first-round draft pick for him.
First round?
For Huntley?
Yeah.
I think he made his money on that Green Bay game. I think they have to put.
I say a 2 or a third. I say a third.
I think the value of the quarterback though is going to be so high. So it's like the game that he played. I mean, that's not obviously the only game that he got on tape, but the game that he played against Green Bay, being the fact that that's a top tier defense and the way that he was being precise. Yeah, I think that's enough for us to put. You're going to have to put a first round tender on him.
Yeah, because I think there'll be a couple of teams that would call and say, "Hey," I mean, Seattle would call after Russell says, "Hey, I'm out."
Washington would call.
Green Bay would call because Aaron doesn't want to be there. Yeah. Washington, Carolina. Yep. I mean, there are so many teams. Denver would probably say, "Hey, you know, I'll take a flyer." Yeah. So there's five teams looking for quarterbacks.
I wouldn't be surprised, especially. I don't think that. Okay, in my head, I don't think that. I don't think Greg Roman's going to be back next year. No, I don't know if he's going to get a head coaching job or not, but I don't think he'll be back next year, and I don't think Wink will be there. I don't think neither one of our coordinators honestly going to be there because they had. I mean, their resume really speaks for themselves. This year, this is probably the first time Greg has ever had a top. I think we 12 in passing. I know we in at least in the top 15 range. So this is the first time he's ever had that. As far as running, they've always had it. He's always had a good running scheme.
Yeah, I think he needed that good running back, and so I think that was something I wanted to talk about. I'm like, hey, those G-Row haters, they're lurking, and they kind of look quiet now, but they have to look at like this last game, all the games with Lamar out. Like for them to stay close in those games, or even to come out and have a decent first drive, whatever, that was scheme. And these schemes to get Andrews all of these yards, they are designed for Andrews to get upfield like that. And that is partially G-Row. They got to give credit where credit is due. Granted, Harbaugh's making some gambling, crazy decisions, but G-Row's coming in there and he has been making the plays to make the comebacks. Yep. And so they got to give him some type of credit. That's why G-Row hasn't been fired. And I think that's why Harbaugh made it a purpose to mention on Monday in his interview that G-Row has done a phenomenal job. Yeah, I was like, okay, that lets me know that they have full confidence that he is not getting fired. Now he ain't saying about Wink. Can you say?
But what can you do with Wink is done? I think our defense has been decimated more than our offense has for the most part, as far as like playmakers. We have all our receivers. We've only really missed. As far as our tight end, we missed Nick and we missed and Patrick's been in and out. So we've had most of our pieces there. Our offensive line now has been trash. But in certain areas, like the interior looks good. Ben Cleveland looks good at left guard. He's doing a good job. He's not getting pushed back on the pass about a pass rush. He does the job. They've been running behind him a lot of the run plays, and that's when they've been getting the bulk of the yards.
I feel you. Hey, I had a question for you real quick. Am I blurry on the screen or am I?
Are you good?
Okay.
Well, I got a Mac.
Because I got one too. I just forgot to plug in my Ethernet.
You working with over there?
Yeah, I felt I got a Mac too, and I'm like, okay, is it because I know the reception might not be as good. Hang on just a second. I'm plugging my Ethernet cable. But keep telling us. So I do have a question that you can answer for us real quick, or actually so a comment from Chris. You can comment on these things here from Chris White. Let's figure this thing out.
How many offensive line will we draft? Knowing how Giro is, and I would say about maybe 2 or 3. Probably being the fact that we do have so many picks, I don't think we're gonna go first round unless we get the guy from Minnesota. I think this is a kid from Minnesota and it's a kid from Mississippi State. Both of them are tackles. Unless we get them in the first round, I don't think we're gonna actually pick up any O-line until like maybe the third round. We found a lot of gems in the third round. Ben Cleveland was a third round draft pick. Orlando Brown was a third round draft pick. If
tight ends in the third round too, I believe.
Who? Phillips?
I think we found some tight ends in the third round in the past.
Absolutely. So I'm just saying as far as like with the O line is concerned. So, but just to answer the question, I think that we're probably going to pick up maybe the most 3. I think most of the draft picks, honestly, in my opinion, may mostly go towards the defense, other than the line. I think it's going to go through the defense because I think we need a lot of speed on that back end. We're going to lose a lot of corners this year.
Yeah, I think it's phenomenal that we do not for once have to go into the draft thinking wide receiver.
Yeah,
I'm happy.
I said you might pick one, but I don't think that we're gonna stress ourselves as far as wide receiver. I think we are gonna get another running back just in case, and I think we're gonna. I mean, I think we found the gem with Chris Wesley. So being able to keep him, I don't know the last time we found an undrafted cornerback that has his talent. And I don't know what the Cowboys was thinking of letting him go with all that stuff.
MMA has a pretty interesting comment here. Check this out.
Huh?
So MMA, he has one. He says, if we put Snoop on the market, the Steelers might take Snoop because Big Ben is done for the. Oh, he got a point.
What are they gonna give us though? He's gonna get on a. Somebody's gonna put up a first round tender. They're gonna put a first round tender on him. Only reason because they don't have a top. There's not a top 10 right now in all the mock drafts. There's not a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah.
So if you already got a quarterback that has some type of talent and he's proven himself in the pros thus far, I don't think we're gonna. First of all, I don't think we'll ever trade him to our rival. We wouldn't trade him.
I don't think so. There's no way in heck we would give them the ammunition to destroy us twice a year.
In hell, with it freezing over, they got no chance to get him.
I feel you.
Probably go. I guess stupid in the NFC somewhere. But I definitely think
I would put him in the NFC.
Yeah, I don't think that we're going to trade him in the AFC anywhere. But they're going to I would put a first round tender on somebody. Even I think it was Tony Romo or was it Troy Aikman? One of the two that whoever did the broadcast for that for the Packers game. Yeah. He said after this game, he said if I'm a team right now, I'm putting the package together to see if I can get Tyler Huntley from the Ravens. I will be doing that right now. And this is coming and on Get Up, Ryan Clark was like, the Ravens got the second best quarterback or the third best quarterback in the division, and he was talking about Tyler. You know?
I believe it. I think his ability to see things in the pocket and his way to get rid of the ball, his scrambling talent, everything that he learned from Lamar, and he has a stronger arm. I'm like, okay, this is a gem right here. I still think, second round 10 is what they'll try to pull. If they try to put a first round on there, that just says that they don't want to move him at all. And I just wonder who's gonna bite on that first round tender. You got to wonder, like, are they going to value him as high as a future draft pick? I think they'd only do that if they want to put the entire franchise around him. Houston, I can see them doing that. Denver, I don't see them putting their franchise on another guy that was a backup that they want to give a chance again because they keep doing that. And I think when Elway was doing it, I think he was close to getting fired. Right. He just kept saying, okay, well, this is our guy. I'm like, did you just pull another backup or did you just take a long shot and said this is our guy? And or they took the chance with Joe Flacco and they knew Joe Flacco was floundering as far as his career goes, and they took that shot and it didn't go too well. So I think, if they put him on the market, it could be a first, but it'd probably be like, I don't know. I still think it might be a second. There's another question here. Let's see. Jamar is here. Chris White It says, is it a Jamar Chase, or is there a Jamar Chase in this draft? Because I don't know. I had to look at the draft class and look that up. This is one of those things, like, I don't start my film study really on the prospects until pretty much playoff time.
I think there was. I can't think of the guy's name. He's from Alabama. He tore his ACL. This is last season. And they actually, a lot of mock drafts have us picking him up in the 4th round because the fact that he did tear it, they think that his draft stock is going to fall. It may not, but he was phenomenal. Fast, big. I think he's 6'1", 6'2", maybe about 195 pounds.
Okay.
He was a phenomenal route runner. I can't think of his name though offhand. But other than him, I don't know. I don't think. I mean, I know Chris is not asking this, but I don't think that we need any more receivers. I know we're going to draft one, but I don't think that. I think we need to develop what we have. We don't need to. I mean, if you bring back Watkins, you can, but you don't have to. Not for after what I've seen these past few weeks.
Yeah,
you don't have to because Bateman is showing up. James is finally. He's just been waiting for his opportunity. He's showing up. Even Tylan Wallace, I've been waiting. That's my boy. I've been waiting for him to get a chance.
Yeah,
he finally getting out there. He's another one that like.
It was nice to see Tyler get his because I think he plays more after the catch. He's a tougher guy after the catch, and just to be able to see that, I was just like, okay, and he stretches out. Like he knows, okay, I need this extra yard, and he uses that length to get those extra yards. Is what I've been seeing.
And he's a strong runner. He's definitely a strong runner after he catches the ball. And
guess who made the show? Engraving in there. Engraving in the house. Well, we made it. Yo, Engraving is in the building. He said Watkins is gone. What's good?
Engrave, what's up, brother?
It was like last show, was it all 22 popped up? And then now we got Engravers here, man. It was good. So yeah, Watkins is gone. But I think the reasons Watkins is gone is because Bateman has proven that he can be that replacement there. Because when they're both on the field, for some reason they cancel each other out. When one or the other is on the field, I feel like the offense operates a little smoother when that happens.
I just really think they're not scheming it up right because I thought they were going to slide him inside. Coach Kamru.
Sound like a good name there. I think we have something. I think he's got it.
Good couch Kamru report. There you go. I think that they haven't. I thought they were going to either slide Sammy inside or they were going to slide because he's a rookie. I thought they were going to slide Bateman inside.
Yeah.
He can dominate from the slot.
Yep.
Sammy can still dominate outside, they don't have to just keep him that way. They can make him interchangeable. I mean,
honestly, I just want to see Prochet. I want to see Prochet like rip it loose from the slot and have Bateman on the outside.
I mean, but that's what we gave him. That's what we gave him. I mean, and James looked good, bro. He looks really good. I mean, it doesn't matter what you ask him to run, he looks good. And the ball's in the area. If it's between him and the DB, I'm taking him.
He's got a way of setting people up when it comes to his route. He's just like, all right, you think I'm going this way, but I'm gonna make you bite and I'm gonna make you pay for it. You're gonna be on skates.
Yeah, he does. He looks good. I think we're going to. I think the first, as far as if we talking about picks, because I was just thinking about what I forgot who asked about the picks. I think we're going to draft the corner first. If it's not going to be a corner, it's definitely going to be an old lineman. But again, if it's not one of those two coming out that can play right tackle or can swing to the left, I think we're going to draft the corner. Even though I think we found the gem in West Street.
I need to see the strength of the top 100 players in this draft, and then I could tell you exactly which one would go first. Would it be lineman or corner? But I believe it's going to be one of those two. Huh?
Yeah, right now it's from what I've seen, it's been either pass rushers or or a few linemen. It's been a few. It's not as many as it was this past draft. It's maybe like 3 or 4 that they talked about. One guy.
I'm thinking with us sitting at like 16 right now. I mean, that probably sounds like another corner, sliding to us that could be a top tier producer for us that could, work right alongside Humphrey if we can't sign AA back. So that would be nice. Speaking of the draft and the whole personnel management process, there's a lot of people on Twitter, man. They got those itchy Twitter fingers, and they saying EDC is the blame for the roster woes. And I'm like, what? I'm like, wait a minute.
You can't predict who's going to be healthy and who's going to be not.
He had a squad together. We had a squad that was supposed to be dominant as all get out.
Yeah, we were. I mean, what are you going to do? You can't. We got, other than COVID, if we could take away COVID, I think we honestly would be in a better place. But
whoever the conditioning coach is, I mean, that was a little problem too.
That's the thing. Like he's been so great, the strength and conditioning coach for the team. Yeah. We haven't had any injuries up to this time. Like now, all of a sudden, I just think somebody hit us with some bad juju, bro. You jokers is falling right next to you. Yeah. Like
I think the Washington football team probably put that field that they got over there in Baltimore. Huh? I said I think the Washington football team had put that field that they had in 2011. They put that in Baltimore.
Yeah,
that's that RG3 field.
He said, Joker. He said he was standing right here talking. Next thing you know, Joker hit the floor like somebody shot him. Like he just looked to the side.
It's like, who's down there?
Peters was just standing there. Next thing you know, boom. I'm like, oh no, this is bad, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's 2 plays, back-to-back plays. Both of them was Gus and him. Yeah. That's when John was like, "That's it. We got to call practice, man. We got to call it." Chris has a comment here. Let's hear this here. He says, Bateman and Watkins outside, Hollywood and Prochet inside, Lamar in the center, Duvernay at running back. Hey, I like that. And switch in and out of the run pass, no huddle.
That would work.
I like no huddle because they can't prepare for what's going to happen here, especially if you got Duvernay in the backfield because he is interchangeable and you can spread him out. Mm-hmm. Then you could run your 11 personnel with him out there because he would be considered that one. And then you have Mandrews out there as well. So that would be a beast combo. I like that. Hey, hire Chris right now. We need to hire Chris as the coordinator.
Good job.
Yeah, and tell G-Ro, what, we appreciate your services.
Yeah, man. Because it's the truth though, because everybody forgets Duvernay is the same size as Dobbins.
Yeah,
he's just an inch taller than him. He's the same size weight wise.
And he got the same size quads too.
Yeah,
that boy quads is sick.
As a running back, they switched him to the receiver because he's so freaking fast, man. He's so fast, and once he gets in the open field, it ain't just gonna be one joker bringing him down. It never has. So
yeah,
congratulations to him on making the Pro Bowl though as a kick returner.
Mm-hmm. I think that's phenomenal there because you got to think about it, before Duvernay got to town. Baltimore's, I think their best kick return was 26 yards or whatever that year. Yeah. The year before Duvernay came to town. Yeah. The year he comes to town, Baltimore was averaging 26 yards a kickoff return. And then this year, 14 yards per punt return, which had led the NFL. So it was phenomenal watching this guy out there do his thing.
Yeah.
Because we knew we was going to get a good field position starting out, and that definitely helps the team. So let's see. Bless Brian says, please, Ravens winning versus Rams. This is all I want for New Year's. Please. So you better go ahead and eat them lucky peas and all of that, bro. Because we
throw them prayers up.
You know it. And then let's see. Chris says, I dare them run cover 0 against the coverage he had mentioned earlier with Bateman and Watkins outside and Hollywood and Prochet.
Yeah, I look, even now, I think they figured it out, but again, they need to keep doing that up tempo. That's the cure for it anyway. Like keep it going. Like especially when you see it happening. You see how well Josh was moving the ball.
For real. And the thing is, the high tempo, and that gives Lamar a little less pressure on him because those defensive linemen can't trade in and out. They can't get their wind up. It gives Lamar a little bit more time in the pocket, and that allows him to be able to see things better down the field because as long as he's holding that ball for a while. Yeah. If he's holding that ball because the linemen are giving him time to think about what he needs to do, then that's where the plays are going to happen.
But the funny thing is, that's what he likes because they mentioned. Do you remember the last interview he had when they played Pittsburgh and they were talking? They asked him about the up tempo. He kind of Lamar doesn't want to throw nobody under the bus, so he plays it a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
He speaks to the media like he's like he says what he likes, but he doesn't really say what he likes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like he give you the idea. Yeah, I like when we spread it, but we do this. Yeah, I like this. But you kind of know he already liked it because remember last season,
yeah,
when we were losing against Indianapolis game, and they went up tempo in that second half, and they gave him a little bit more time to just go ahead and call what you need to call. Lamar, go ahead and run the offense. We're gonna give you about 3 calls. And he was running, and we just went down there and scored, no problem. Boom. And they were moving.
Yep.
They were moving. I don't know why they always, I understand sometimes you need to go back and get in the huddle when you want to kill the time, but
yeah.
Let's tire him out. Especially when you have a bad offensive line. Every time, just using an example, every time Tom had a bad offensive line in New England, they ran up tempo, especially when they played us.
Yeah, it was up tempo and short passing.
They went up tempo every time because they knew daggone well they couldn't block Suggs, they couldn't block Nada, they couldn't block them. They would go up tempo to start the game, and that would just get us every time.
Yeah, I think they were coming down with the slot. So they'd be using the slot on the drag, mostly mesh type concepts with the tight end going up the field. And then you have the bailout route to the running back where he was either running it out or he was running a wheel.
Yeah.
But Brady always had that bailout route in case Edelman wasn't open. So his number one look was most of the time going to be Gronk. If he didn't see the skinny seams open, he was going to go to the drag to Edelman or a slant to Amendola or whatever. And if he couldn't find those things, then he was hitting that out route, hitting that wheel route to James White. Yep. And so if you have those there, you got options. And I think that's what Baltimore needs to do when they run into something like that Miami zero blitz again that they got, because these corners, they just sitting back. They sitting back on the sticks ready to jump everything. I don't know if you saw that in the New Orleans game where they embarrassed Ian Book or whatever. That was the exact same blitz that they were running against Baltimore. They were just sitting back 10 yards. And basically coach told them, hey, don't care about what's deep. Blitz and then jump everything. And they jumped everything.
Yep.
So they got to figure out a way to beat that. And the way to beat that is the out routes, the drags, and then those slants, and simply finding a way to get upfield and trust that, hey, you know what? Sometimes you can just throw that 50-50 ball up because of the fact that they jump and everything, and see if you can get lucky on that.
Yep.
The Jets did it against the Raiders to end the game. I haven't seen that in the past.
Look, I think one of the best routes going to that Miami game, that the one that Sammy lost, I guess, I don't know if he thought he was too close to the goalpost or whatever. Yeah. He was upset with himself when he lost.
Yeah, he lost it in the air.
Yeah, that was a perfect. That was a perfect zero blitz beater. That was the perfect one.
Yeah, and the one he fumbled on was a perfect pass, and we got it done. He just fumbled it. He had a fumble 6.
Bad game, bro. I feel bad for him, man. I think that Joker never got hurt, man. He would definitely be one of the top receivers in the league.
Oh yeah. Well, I watched Sammy coming out of Clemson. And don't get me wrong, I had bad reviews about him coming out of college because I couldn't see any tape on him facing the press coverage. And then the second he gets to the league, Prince Amukamara in preseason embarrassed the heck out of him. Yeah. And I was like, okay, well, this is a guy who can't beat press, and until he can actually beat the press.
Right.
And then when he started moving to the slot, he didn't have to face it as much.
Right.
That's where he started, doing this thing with Tyrod and running good dig routes. He was running good dig routes, and he could run a good 9. But you could see the chemistry that him and Tyrod had, and with Greg Roman there, they were flourishing in Buffalo. And now that hopefully they can get that same chemistry with Lamar back on, and he gets healthy and we ready to rock.
We need playoff Sammy.
Please, I need playoff Sammy. Playoff Sammy needs to show up now.
Yeah, that's right. We need playoff Sammy, man. So
hang on, we got a question for you about a dog.
My dog, you don't leave my dog alone. Oh, what kind of dog? It's a leopard Catahoula. Hey, Graven, it's not like your dog. I don't know what I think you got a lab. Engraved, you got a lab.
I think it might be small delay.
I can't remember the name of Engraven's dog. But she's a leopard Catahoula. They raise them in Louisiana. They actually mix with leopard Catahoula. right? Oh, golden retriever. Okay. Well, my dog is a leopard cattle. They raise them in Louisiana. They were bred between Spanish. Got a hula, bro. Hula.
Oh my gosh.
Don't ask me to spell it right now because I can't.
He said, oh, leopard cattle. Okay.
Cattle.
There we go. All right. So there's another question from Brian over here, real quick. He says, are they trading Marcus Peters or is it just rumors?
No, I think that's just rumors. He has one more year on his contract. I hope we don't trade him, man.
No, I think that they recognize the value of a cornerback nowadays. Yeah. And so they recognize that they got gold with this guy. He is I was telling you about trailing technique. This is one of the corners who has mastered the trailing technique. He recognizes his speed and he recognizes the makeup time. And that ability to sit there and use that trailing technique to bait quarterbacks into throwing, that is where Marcus excels. And I think that's where we're failing this year with our corners, especially on Sunday. You can see that those corners that we picked up off the street, Seymour and them, Worley, they could not figure that out. They did not have that good reaction time like Peters did. Peters, he intentionally went out there baiting folks, and Worley and them just went out there to keep up with it and try to use their speed, and they didn't have that reactionary ability.
I'm listening, brother. I'm texting engraving. I'm going to text the name of this daggone dog.
So Les Bryant says he loves Marcus Peters and was reading about it. I'm with you, like, hey, people gonna put stuff out there on the internet like crazy, just to get some smoke coming or whatever. But I think honestly, after this year, they recognize that Peters probably needs to refresh on that contract because we need to keep that guy there because he is a all pro. And since he's come in, he's led the league in interceptions since he's been in. I mean, Diggs is going to catch him, no doubt. But yeah, I think he has definitely been balling. So Bless Brian says, wow, all the Ravens jerseys all sell out. LOL. I think, so he's talking about Peters again. So let's go down. Let's see. We got one other thing. Huh?
So I'm just going to add on to what Peters.
Yeah.
We're probably going to, just cap-wise, we're probably going to lose Tavon. This is Jimmy's last year. So, okay, then we probably not going to be able to sign AA because he's going to get a contract somewhere, right? Even though he's playing outside corner, I think he would be better in the slot because of his size, and he's still shifty and he's very he's very fast. But so that's 3 corners, right? So now that really leaves us with just Peters, Wesley, and Marlon. That's all we really have.
Yep.
So, we can't really. You don't want to lose. He's still in his prime. He's still young. And again, even after his contract's up, I would. We talked about it. I would try to move. Peters is a ball hawk.
Yeah.
His IQ, his football IQ is so high. Why not try to slide him into free safety? Because he can do it.
I think when it comes to safety, I think just as we were saying before, like right now, Peters only has to see. He sees his zone and he sees the quarterback like that, and he's really good at his zone. And so if he goes and is able to take more chances by sliding into a free safety position and being able to see the entire field, I think the world will be his menu, and he'll be able to eat from whatever he wants on that field because he'll be able to take those chances. But I think. Like I was telling you, there could be one little small problem with that with Chuck. Chuck might have a problem with him just roaming and doing whatever he wants to do because Chuck doesn't understand the role of a free safety. He's like, look, be where you're supposed to be, or we're gonna have a problem.
Chuck will be all right. He gonna be all right. Because the communication. The big part of the reason that we've given up so many big plays is the communication is bad somewhere. Somebody doesn't get it, or somebody does get it.
Yeah.
Even in the Pittsburgh game when Marlon and AA ran into each other, he said that was his fault. AA said that was his fault.
Yeah.
He didn't have to say that. He could have just said it for the sake of. Then there's times that Marlon don't get it. Yeah, he's saying that he didn't communicate what was going on, so it was his fault. Then there's times in this particular game, now again Chuck's back out there, and I'm not trying to blame on Chuck because I love Chuck.
Mm-hmm.
Back out there, something happened because Brandon Stevens, that Tyler Boyd touchdown, that was his fault.
You know, that looked very familiar. It looked like that 2015 or 16 touchdown to close out the game.
Right.
That seam sitting there running right. That scheme, that small seam to the slot.
The problem was in that particular game, we were playing cover 2, and it was deep, and Brandon Carr missed the ball. Yeah. Nobody was there.
Yeah.
Brandon Stevens made a beeline to chase on, and you're the center field. You know, you're the center fielder, and I understand.
Yeah,
I like Brandon. I think I know he could be a great safety. But I still feel like being the fact that he played corner so much, even though they moved him around. They moved it around like they did Marlon.
Yep.
SMU. They, you know, if you look at any of his tape at SMU, they had him at corner. They had him at the nickel spot. They had him playing safety, but he didn't play safety full time. But he was back at corner majority of the time. Like he can run.
Uh-huh.
I just think that right now he's a big guy. He keep him at corner. Let him develop and learn the game.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And then have him play the same role as Jimmy played, because that's what I thought they were going to do. Like Jimmy plays a little bit of safety, but he's playing corner. Like I thought he was there to replace Jimmy in that way. And then you could work him, you know, you work your way in there. To ask him to, especially somebody that's never played safety before, going from offense and you playing your first year at corner, and I had to give him a ton of credit because number one, he's very smart. Number two, as complex as our scheme is, he's been holding on, but it's still a lot to ask for somebody that's never played that position.
Yeah, and then just to flex as much as he has to flex, because I mean, 1 second he's playing, you know, he's playing corner, and the next second he's coming over here as strong safety, expected to clog these holes and know exactly where the gaps are in the run. And that just takes the knowledge of a safety and a linebacker and a corner all into one. Yeah. So he's been playing exceptional. Honestly, I thought he was going to be like the replacement for Elliott if we could not keep Elliott back, because he's got that build of a thumper, a run stopper that we need. And also, I think, you know, it'd be like a Elliott / Smith, because we know we're going to be missing, you know, both of those possibly this coming off season, because I know he has the ability to cover tight ends and man coverage. And so that's where I think Smith is like Stevens is more like a do-it-all omniverse type of corner that they're looking for.
He's a Swiss Army knife. He's definitely that. He's the same size as Jimmy.
Yep.
You know, so let me ask you this. Who do you think is going to be our starting secondary next year?
Starting secondary. So if AA is able to get signed back, which I think honestly, if Peters comes back, I don't think they're going to sign him back. I think they're going to rely on somebody into the draft. I think Tavon stays. I think Home comes back healthy, and I think Peters on the outside. To be honest, I think that's that extra trio to come back. But then when it comes to the safety position, honestly, I think they're gonna let Joker walk, because that's gonna bring a nice comp pick when he leaves, and I think they'd keep Chuck. But I think that Geno Stone then shows up in camp, shows out, and shows everybody that, hey, he can be that cover 3 true free safety that we've been looking for a while.
Now I'm just gonna, because they got him labeled as a strong safety now. This is why I said I love Chuck. Yeah, Chuck didn't play in that Green Bay game. I know they gave up a lot of yards, but we didn't have any corners on the field. But the communication, nobody was getting beat over the top. There weren't any big plays. It's just that it's A-Rod, bro. He putting the ball where Joker's just getting. What are you going to do? Like,
well, I mean, he was slicing the zone up. You can see it across the middle, but it's like right in between the two linebackers, though. You know. Yeah,
but I mean, even when they played man, like he just put the ball with just only the receiver can get it, and it was just like no other quarterback would take the chance to throwing the ball there other than him.
Yep.
You know, the way he was putting the ball. That's what I'm saying. Like, it wasn't the fact that because I'm looking at the communication, because only reason we give up the big plays is when the communication is bad.
Yep. I agree. The second they have a breakdown of communication, just like when it was with the Minnesota game,
right?
With Jefferson's touchdown, huge breakdown of communication.
Right.
When it came to, I want to say 2 games prior to that. In fact, every game all the way up to that Minnesota game, they were giving like huge plays over 50 yards at least twice a game.
Right.
And I was just like, what is going on? Break
Yeah.
down the communication. Every time you saw it, it was a corner and a safety sitting here just not on the same page, almost bumping into each other on the field, and then boom, somebody broke free.
The thing that reason I'm saying that is because I'm leading up to it. Geno Stone had the green dot. Everything was. There was nothing. Even with Davis coming in, that's never played. Like, he's played how many years? He's on the practice squad. He probably played I think he's a rookie.
Yeah.
Is it Seymour? Number 38. Is it Seymour?
I think so. It might have been Seymour. Yeah.
Okay. He actually played better in the slot when he came in for Tavon, opposed to when he was. Even though he got beat for that, again, this is A-Rod throwing the ball.
Yeah.
Then him playing on the outside, right? So.
Okay.
Okay? So Anthony was on the other side. That was whoever he was on. It was covered.
Mm-hmm.
The communication was flawless. Like,
was Geno with the dot? You said with Geno with the dot, it was flawless.
I had the dot against Green Bay.
Yeah.
Even Harbaugh was impressed. He was like, he took the green dot and ran with it. Like, even on the touchdown to Adams, to Devontae in that game. And you could tell Davis was nervous.
Yeah.
Because he's like 17 in my face. So I don't know. I'm gonna do this. Geno knew what to do. Geno, if he would have listened to Geno, he wouldn't have got beat on the touchdown. It would have had to go a different way. He told him. Geno hit him on the hip and he said, take the outside. I got the inside. And you could tell him he hit him and he mentioned it to him, but Davis didn't take the outside. He jumped. I don't know why. No, ain't no reason to jump now. You're right here at the goal line. You're right there. So I'm just saying, like, Geno's communication is there. Like, I don't know if he's going to take over. I don't know if he'll take over for Chuck. I don't know if Chuck is going to. I think Chuck has another year on this contract as well, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So we may lose some people, man. We may have almost not a brand new secondary, but we may lose some people. I think for me, I think you keep Peters. I think you give the green dot to one of the linebackers. I think either Queen or whoever's going to be there next year, because I don't think Josh Barnes will be the back.
Yeah.
But
I think that's another thing. We got to go into the draft and get somebody else as far as linebacker, but late. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not that big of a need.
Yeah.
But somebody who can cover as good as Bowser, but from the middle linebacker position, and is smart enough to be able to carry that dot. And honestly, I think Bowser is just a guy you just send through gaps on blitzes like crazy, and shoot gaps, run blitz. He can be a great run blitzer, but he's not cerebral enough yet to be able to use that awareness to take on the green dot just yet. Honestly, you gave it to Malik Harrison, maybe. I don't know.
I don't think. I don't think you mean Bowser or Queen. Because Bowser,
Queen, yeah. So Queen. I'm thinking no, you can't give him the green dot. Can't give it to him.
You don't think he can handle it next year?
No, I don't think he can. Like I say, he's just one of those guys. He's instinctive, but he doesn't have breakdown awareness. And I think he worried about where he need to be, but he don't care about whatever else is going around him. You know what I'm saying?
These past few games, I think he's been playing a little bit more Mike than he's been playing earlier when they first moved to the Will. Because he's been on it almost every down, opposed to like Bowser will come off and then he'll come back on. I think it took CJ Mosley like 2 years before he moved to the Mike linebacker. So maybe it may be the same thing. I'm hoping it may be the same thing with Queen.
And then I guess I'm giving Queen a little hard time, but I guess he only started 8 games in college before he came to the NFL. So that is just probably just that learning curve, and it's probably he's progressing as the season goes along.
Yeah.
But I still think, if we give that green dot up, still let him be able to just think free and go nuts, go do his thing. Yeah. And let somebody else be that cerebral thinker and be able to just put everybody in position where they need to be, but pull it off the free safety. Pull it off the safety and let one of these guys actually be the rangy, crazy free safety that's taking chances, whatever. Yeah. It's working out for Dallas right now. They jumping everything. I mean, they initially early in the season, they were getting beat because they were jumping everything. But it's working for Diggs now. because he is like eating left and right. I don't know why quarterbacks see. If I see his number, I'm not throwing it. I don't get it.
The only problem I have is because only there's only, I want to say maybe Miami, New England,
Try something right quick. Keep talking.
maybe the Titans. I think those are the only that's really the only other teams that run a complex defense like we do. Yeah. Like I don't even think Pittsburgh runs a complex like not as far as like what they do with their secondary and how they switch off from it, because they play more cover 2 than anything. You know what I mean? Just with a 3-4 front, opposed to being switched, because Mike Tomlin, remember he comes from that Tampa 2 background. He just keeps the as far as with the secondary, he keeps it that way. But as far as the front seven, he never switched it because they were always a 3-4 defense. He never switched it to a 4-3. Right. But I just think that, like, I don't know. I really think you can't give up Peters, man. It would hurt me for Peters to leave, bro.
Yeah, I feel like that's he's a Raven. He's a true Raven, man. This dude here, I mean, he talked that he got that nasty mentality of the Ravens of old. You know? I feel like he need to be there. But let's keep moving here. We got Bowser in and Jefferson out. So what's that mean for Hayes and Ferguson? Who gonna eat, man?
Bowser. What do you mean by Bowser's in and Jefferson's out?
Oh, excuse me. So Bowser's Bowser's out too, isn't he? So we lost Bowser.
Talking about COVID? Or what we talking about?
Yeah, COVID got him.
Bowser.
It should be Bowser and Jefferson out. My bad.
No, it's fine. Well, Dalen, Jefferson. I didn't know Jefferson was out.
I think he ended up going out as well. I think COVID caught a few of them folks, man.
All right. So, as far as outside linebackers, we only got it's Ferguson, Hayes, and Owe.
We got McPhee came back too.
So you got those 4.
Yeah, but also here's the thing: the COVID protocols just changed today, so it went from 10 days to 5 days now, as long as they are asymptomatic. So there's a possibility if So if he went on yesterday,
who, Bowser?
Yeah,
I think he went on today.
So if he went on today, so that's today, that's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. If he's healthy on Saturday, maybe if he's asymptomatic on Saturday, I'm not sure if that clears him in time for to be declared on the active roster.
Yeah, it would have to be by Saturday, I think, because that was the same thing with Chuck.
Yeah,
because he's vaccinated, and if he would have, I mean, it must have hit him pretty hard because he didn't come back until Wednesday of last week. So,
I need my guy Ferris Bueller to show back up. You know what I mean? I need Lamar to come on and quit playing hooky for the holidays and get on back to work. Like this dude, like I said, I talked about it in the pregame show. I mean, if you match all the injuries up and it matches up with Thanksgiving and Christmas time, and I know you want to spend some time with your family tomorrow. But come on back to the field, man. We gotta make the playoffs, man. Don't play around. We need to play playoffs, Lamar. Come on. Y'all come on back too. Everybody sit here like, man, look.
He's gotta be the one that's coming in tomorrow because I don't even know the guy that's on the practice squad that they just let go. I forgot his name.
Oh, Kenji Bahar?
All right. What is his name?
Jabbar? Kenji Bahar.
Say it again. Mama said what?
Kenji Bahar.
Bahar.
Yeah.
Okay. If it's not Kenji, Kenji they let go. Yeah. Then there's another quarterback that they got, the one they got from the Cardinals practice squad.
Oh yeah, I remember him. Can't remember what his name is though, but I felt like did we let go? We let go of a mobile quarterback, and the Cardinals signed our mobile quarterback.
Mm.
And then because it was the Pit Boy.
But he's on the COVID list.
Yeah,
I think he went on Friday.
Yeah,
and Hunter went on Saturday. So that leaves, even if Tyler was clear, he wouldn't be back until like Wednesday or Thursday.
It looks like Engrave is clearing some of this stuff for us here. So Bowser went on the list today, and he's talking about it was Kenji Bahar, and then he's telling us that Chris Streveler is the guy we got.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I DM'd you too.
yeah.
About the dog.
You know.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, hopefully we getting Huntley or Lamar back. Like I'm good with either one. Just
I
give
think we
me,
get
give me,
Lamar
give me
back.
somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
It's
I
going to
think
be.
we get Lamar back. I
Yeah.
think because Tyler still needs it would still have to be. He went on Saturday. He went on Christmas Day, so it would have to be 5 days after. So what, it would have to either be the 30th or he would have to come back on that Friday. So you're not gonna let go of quarterback unless you get somebody back.
Yeah.
So that bone bruise, God willing, is all healed up.
So I need Lamar to come back.
Before we go any further, hold on, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
That was a late hit, man. And nobody said anything. If that was any other quarterback, it'd have been a flag.
Oh yeah, if that was Tamisha Brady, they would have kicked the guy out of the game.
Oh man. He couldn't. It's not like he was going to be able to tackle Lamar. The ball was already going. He dove and his face mask banged his ankle. I was like, "Come on, bro."
Yeah, that was just. It was just. I don't know. I guess they were trying to treat him like he was a runner, but at the same time, like it doesn't matter if he was throwing the ball. He was in the act of throwing.
Yeah.
Like protect my guy's legs. You did it for Tom. You did it for Tom Brady.
Absolutely.
They made up the rule for Tom Brady. Why not make up this rule? Like, hey, after that ball is thrown, let them ankles alone.
Yeah.
I'm over here making rhymes and stuff. All right, put me on the mic.
Let me help you out. You need help? You sure you don't need no help?
Yeah, I mean,
I was like, man, get your hand out of my face.
Yeah, and so Ian Graven says a good thing. Point about the timing. It was definitely a timing thing. I feel like it should be a 2-step or a 2-stumble type of deal. Like, hey, if you got that second step in and you land that hit, then that's a problem.
They've done that too so many times against Lamar. It's sad though. Even like going back to the Denver game when he threw the touchdown to Hollywood.
Yeah,
the nose tackle hit him. I mean, I understand he's mobile, but in the act of running, it's different. If you're in the pocket, treat him as any other quarterback. Don't treat him any differently. Treat him the same way.
They got to protect this man. They got to protect him because they didn't protect Cam in 2015. I know they don't. And then in 16, they let the Broncos lit him up.
Yeah, they was chopping him right at the chin though. He was getting chin checked.
Yeah, he was every single nasty hit you can imagine. The refs, I'm like, where are these refs? Like, what are they doing?
He was getting hit with the Street Fighter. Are you?
Yeah.
Are you?
Street Fighter. Kind of nasty, man. So I think that was what we covered. We just covered the Kenji Bahar released, and so we were saying who comes back on Sunday. I think I've covered the majority. I think we covered pretty well the majority of what we wanted to talk about. Now, of course, we're going to go back and do a preview show. But we'll save some material for that. I want to do a little bit more study on these Rams. I want to see what they, what they're capable of, who their hot guys are. We're going to talk a little bit more about your Van Jeffersons, about your Odells. But I still want to talk about, guys like Tony Michel and all that. But we'll do that on the next show. So we'll make sure that, for those of you who just hopped in, and I appreciate y'all coming through, but y'all a little late.
Thank you.
But we're going to get you on the next show. So
thank you.
Cam, and make sure they know where to find you for this show, for the movie and for the album that's coming out.
Well, I have a single coming out New Year's Day. It's called Freak Out. It's a good party record. I'll be promoting it on Instagram, a couple other places. Sorry, I had a little dust in my face. But it's called Freak Out. Again, you can follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter. Still the same thing, Kamru 52. And as far as that's concerned, the film 52, that's in the works. So we, please everybody throw your prayers up. We did the short film. We're gonna submit that to a couple of festivals, but we are working on the series and we are actually shopping it to a few networks. I was blessed enough that one of my mentors, he does soundtracks, and he worked on. I didn't even know this until the time. He's actually the one that did the music behind the scissor reel that I have on Instagram, showing me with the fight scene with the music. He helped work on the film for John. He helped work on the music for John Wick, like as far as the soundtrack is concerned. And he didn't know I was doing the film, so this is by the grace of God. I'm in the studio. To tell you the story real quick. I'm sorry. I was in the studio. I was recording a record. He happened to show up, and I met him through my producer. That's how he became my mentor. But he was like, what you got going on? We were just chopping it up, talking. So I told him what I was doing. He knew that I already had a martial arts background, but then he said, let me see the film. So he was, looked at the short. He saw the whole short, but he was like captivated by the fight scene. And for this particular style, 52 blocks, it's still fairly new. I want to say the application's been around for about 20 years or so. It's been known for other names that are not real. And the only reason I say it's not real because we don't want that negative connotation as far as like, if you ever heard of Jailhouse Rock, that's what a lot of people have called it, but that's not what it is. Because you don't get a martial arts style in jail. That's actually a movement, but it goes back further than that, back when the enslavement of the Africans and the Native Americans, that's how it actually started. Certain movements. Same time Capoeira started. It started there, just to give you a little bit of history. But the movements have gone from whip and chains to a lot of boxing movements, a lot of old fighters like Jack Johnson, Muhammad Ali did certain moves. All of these moves were put together, and they're talking about as far as the defensive moves, not the strikes. Were put together, and this style was formed. And it was only, when you see guys slap boxing and stuff like that, that's what it started in the street, and it just grew. But it is an American art, meaning, and it came from, this is actually our art as far as Black people and Hispanic people. This is something that came from us. It didn't come from another state, and it's not to disrespect anybody else. It's just this is something that American can actually claim, especially if you're a Black or Hispanic. You should be able to claim this style. But it grew, and then it was by the Israelites. The guys with the religion with the 7. They actually named it 52, 5-2 for God, and that's how it grew, because they wanted a positive name behind it, opposed to it being something negative. Because everybody was saying Jailhouse Rock, you see jokers up there doing this and blah blah blah, but that's a dance. That's not really the form of the art. Yeah. That's something that's just like in Capoeira. People get captivated when they see Capoeira because they see the dance. But the dance, if you know any history on Capoeira, the dance was actually done by the slaves, by the natives and the Africans, because they didn't want the masters to know what they were doing. They were training, but they made it look like a dance on purpose. Huh. So it's the same thing that has to do with 52. But people get a lot of the names like Skeleton. This is why it's a very urban style, because a lot of the names that, as far as the blocks, like Skeleton Crossbones, Closed Door, all of these, it grew like hip hop because it's from the streets. So it's like the names that we carried on, you making up names when how we make up Ebonics and all types. That's us. That. Right. That's the same thing with how 52 grew with the names like Closed Door, Skeleton Crossbones, Stack the Deck, all of these things were just because those are the urban names that we use. So, but the style itself, the movements itself are very unique, and you see it in certain boxes. You see certain UFC fighters use it. The most popular name I could say right now that's used it more than anybody else was the world champion Floyd Mayweather, and nobody knew, because the only thing they knew was the turtle shell. But the turtle shell was actually from 52, but nobody knew. So, using the turtle shell, when he would do this, that's what 52 was brought upon, because it was just blocking. It was blocks. You can strike, you can add it to any system and strike however you want, because there's a punch is a punch is a punch. Doesn't matter how you throw the punch. Punch is a punch is a punch. You understand what I'm saying? So whether you're throwing a jab or a cross, or if you doing a tiger claw or something like that, whatever you're doing, a strike is a strike. Different blocks are different blocks with different, like everybody has a different name for something. So there is like a connection. It's not like it's like 52's over here, Kung Fu and karate's here. No, there always is some similarities to each art, even with 52 being American. It is still a connection.
Man. Well, I appreciate you explaining that to us, man. I'm looking forward to seeing the movie and just learning more about this. I feel like that martial art it's its own culture, so I look forward to learning about it even more as we go. But we got to just wrap it up here. We still pissed off about the Bengals. We're gonna see them again. We're gonna see them again. We're gonna see them. It's gonna be nasty too. You know what I'm saying? When Lamar see them again, it's gonna be great. But I'm hoping that Lamar shows up Sunday and continues his undefeated streak against the NFC, because he has not been defeated by the NFC yet. So hopefully he can keep that going. But this is the home of Original Sports Perspective, from our couch to yours. Thanks for tuning in to the Couch Cam. Appreciate y'all. Y'all hit the likes, hit the subscribe, and smack that bell so you know what is going down, baby.
Bro, I appreciate you having you on again, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming through, man.
We chop it up whenever you want, man. Whenever.
Absolutely.
My air mattress for my family when they were here.
Yeah.
Trying to have a good, somewhat Christmas holiday. You know what I mean? Everybody out there, Happy New Year. We're going to chop it up again. Hopefully I'll chop it up with you soon.
Yeah, for sure, man. You take care of yourself.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Peace.